The Auckland fullback, and Craig Innes, the Auckland centre. 2,000 for this opening match of the tour. Ray Megson of Scotland, the referee, one of their international panel. So the All Blacks tour begins. And straight away, Grant Fox into that pattern, hoisting a superb kick. And Geraint John getting underneath it for Cardiff. A dangerous moment for the home side there in the first few seconds of play. Graham Batchup, the scrum half, but he's feeding his own scrum. Relief for Cardiff. Bruce Dean's understudy at Canterbury was taken straight from the New Zealand Colt side to tour Japan and is now making his senior All Black debut. His first match in an All Black jersey. David Evans, the Cardiff outside half, takes them to the relative safety of their own 10-metre line. Sean Fitzpatrick, 21 caps for New Zealand. Tremendously mobile hooker throwing into the line-out. And Cardiff snaffle it. John Kerwin. Matthew Ridge, the fullback, being engulfed. And Bishop gets it away, but it's a shocking pass. Buck Shelford couldn't hold on to it. John Kerwin, oh, he nearly bumped into the posts. Forced to ground it, he picked it up very neatly indeed, but then found himself staring at a goalpost, and he didn't evade that so easily. So, early pressure now. Switch from the Cardiff line to the New Zealand line. Geraint John, the Cardiff centre. And an indirect free kick to Cardiff. The All Blacks pushing before the ball's in. Back it goes to Evans. Oh, and the drop kick charged down. It was Bishop, the scrum half, who got there. And that was on its way. Well, it looked worse than it was. John Schuster getting the kick away, but he got a tremendous amount of spin on it, and it curved in the air. It looked as if it was going to go absolutely flat at first, but it bananaed its way round and made good ground in the end. Ian Watkins to throw in. 10 caps for Wales. And this, the young second row, Ian Jones, sorry, and passing to Murray Pearce, the other second row. Now setting up for the forwards. Grant Fox, Mrs. Schuster. Matthew Ridge, the fullback. Got the ball on the floor, and Mr. Megson calls for a scrum. Not straight, but I think the crowd had a say in that one. Batchup having problems settling down. David Evans finds touch. 2 caps for Wales, Evans last season in the centre, but playing today at outside half. Fitzpatrick. Well taken by Ian Jones at the front. And they've got a good drive on there. Alan Whetton. Kerwin coming in. Bumps off Mark Rowley. And Bishop out to Mike Brewer. And there's an overlap there. Well, what a chance wasted by the All Blacks. They had a 2-man overlap. And Mike Brewer really didn't take the right option. Missed out the inside men, threw wide to Matthew Ridge, but the pass was behind him. He had to stop and the chance was gone. There goes Brewer through the gap. Schuster comes in tight. He's still got Innes there. And that must go down as a missed chance. Terry Wright going back for the kick. And neatly gets the bounce in just before the ball hits the touchline. He was outside his 22. So the ball had to bounce before going into touch. Watkins with the throw. Crothers, the captain, coming round, but he couldn't hold on to it as he tried to peel round the front. So it'll be a scrum down, New Zealand ball. Williams on this side, Fitzpatrick in the middle, Low on the far side. Bishop. Pass going straight to Schuster. The tackle and Ray is close behind him, and they win the penalty. Ridge. And it's there. Cardiff 3, the All Blacks 0. Well, some people were predicting a 50-point drubbing for Cardiff. No signs of that. At this stage, they're giving as good as they're getting. "13 minutes gone, and the All Blacks 3-0 behind." Well, Bishop looks a lively little customer, but so far his passing's been a bit awry. Fitzpatrick taking it down the front. Don't play the ball on the ground, the instruction. Australia's Michael Lynagh. Always goes through precisely the same motions. And there's another one, slotted straight between the posts. That kicking action so well grooved. David Evans to restart. Puts it long down to the corner. Safely gathered by Fox. But that's a good gain for Cardiff. They're down to almost the New Zealand 22, and they've got the throw-in the line-out. Well, a great deal of withdrawing and pushing players back there. Once you set the length of the line out, you can't change it, and that's what Cardiff were seeking to do, penalised for it. And the position wasted. They went down 31-10. Sorry, 36-13. But at the moment, drawing 3-all. Oh, and Innes losing the ball as he went through there. And the referee takes them back for that knock-on. Just checking that there was no advantage to Cardiff. They couldn't move forward from it, so they get the scrum. Feeding. Ball not in straight. And the up and under coming from Grant Fox. Well taken by Rhea, and he got the mark in two. Well, he had Ian Jones and John Schuster breathing down his neck, but he kept his concentration, never took his eye off the ball. Must have been a great temptation there. Schuster only a couple of yards away, but well done, Mike Rhea. Ian Jones there, the All Black second row. I must say he's not in the typical mould of All Black second rows. Long and lanky. Doesn't look too powerful, but he can certainly jump. And it is the first game for most of these players because the team totally changed except for John Kerwin to the one which played against British Columbia. And Fox missing that. One kick out of three so far. Not very good by his standards. But they've all been a bit difficult. Well taken. Finding that gap in there behind. Ridge had come forward with that attack and hadn't really regained his position. But he got back. Geraint John. Good palm. Evans hoists it. Rings up after it. Rings taking it off the fullback. Well, there was a chance. Mark Ring steaming up there. Really took the ball well. Watching the ball all the way. Catches Ridge, takes the ball off him. And one can't help thinking that he might have been better served to have held on to that ball, taken the tackle, all the support was coming. Roggers round the front. Cardiff win the ruck. Evans hoists the kick. And again Rings up there and catching it, but this time he's offside. Mark Ring, 16 caps for Wales. He missed out last season through injury, and the last international he played was, in fact, in New Zealand in one of those 50-point drubbings that Wales received when they were on tour there. Another excellent catch, though, by the Cardiff centre. Jones, good two-handed catch again. He really can, but he's been robbed. Watkins storming away round the front. And this is a good drive by Cardiff. They're almost there. That final surge over the line, but it's not coming. A tremendous burst from the Cardiff forwards. That's the first time really that they've worked up a head of steam and have got the All Blacks going backwards. David Young on this side for Cardiff. Andrew Booth feeds. Lovely little intervention by Brewer. Collins onto it. Mark Edwards, can he get there? Yes, he's made it. Try for the Cardiff number 8, Mark Edwards. And that just rewards for the pressure that Cardiff have been putting on in the past few minutes. They've had a really good spell. Brewer with the conversion, and he makes it. 9-3 to Cardiff. As the half-time whistle goes, the 3 as Mr. Megson starts the second half. David Evans with the kick to the corner. Grant Fox returns it. Wayne Shelford, the All Black captain, had very harsh words with his forwards during the interval. Richie Collins takes it. A knock on, says the referee. Howard Stone in trouble. And yet they're holding their own really well against these All Blacks at the moment, but Shelford drives off the back, wrestles the ball free. Bishop. Does well to get his kick in and keep control of it, bouncing it into touch. Cardiff, of course, without Bob Norster, their international second row. Injured himself playing in the South African centenary celebration matches. No, again he hooks it. It's a real scrubby one. And those two easy misses in the first half that he had. Cardiff should certainly be 12-3 up now, not 9-3. Alan Whetton driving away. Shelford leaves the ball behind, lays it off perfectly. In goes Pearce. Bishop to Fox. Terry Wright. Ian Watkins with the throw. Innes. Bishop, the short one. Fitzpatrick taking it on the drive. And again, the forward laying off them all. That's Mike Brewer that time, but he's missed out. It goes to the backs. Lovely loop around, and Kerwin gets the ball really for the first time with space. Richard Lowe, Alan Whetton. Fitzpatrick again. Richie Collins brings him down. And Collins over the top. He's claiming the ball was out. "18 caps so far for New Zealand, 35 matches in all. And that one straight between the posts, on target again. And New Zealand back to within 3 points. But this certainly hasn't been the match that people were predicting. Cardiff giving a good account of themselves. There you can see, that's where Collins was lurking. He didn't come from the back of the scrum. He was in an offside position. David Evans. The mark given. And he makes a longer touch that time. Play back to halfway. Taken by Edwards, but the throw wasn't straight. Jeff Whiteford on the near side for Cardiff, their most experienced international with 19 caps. The indirect free kick. Finds a good touch just in midway between the 22 and the goal line. Many occasions when Cardiff have taken a ball off the New Zealand throw-in. They've been cleaned out in the line-outs. Murray Pearce and Ian Jones really ruled the line-outs. Mike Brewer there, the New Zealand number 7, likely to get the test spot in the absence of Michael Jones, who hasn't been able to make the tour because of a very nasty injury. There goes Jones. Very mobile second row, this Ian Jones from North Harbour. Hasn't got the upper body strength that we would normally associate with New Zealand second rows, but he makes up for it with his athleticism. Well taken by Ridge, and safely in touch. Mark Ring threatening the quick throw, but thinks better of it. Matthew Ridge, the Auckland fullback, not likely to get into the test team. John Gallagher from Wellington, the number 1. Mark Ring, Richie Collins in support. And Ian Watkins, well, everybody knows that hookers shouldn't try to kick. That's what happens. Ian Watkins trying to act as the outside half, and the kick directed to touch shakes his head. I'm sure Sean Fitzpatrick throwing in would never dream of doing such a thing. Again, an unwise pass to Buck, but Cardiff penalised. Pulled it wide of the left post. So, just 2 penalties out of 5 successful so far. Tremendous drive by Alan Whetton. See how closely he locks in on Murray Pearce in support. Buck Shelford. Now we're seeing a bit of traditional New Zealand driving. And Richard Lowe, and Lowe is over. The first really convincing piece of forward driving play from the New Zealanders, and they score a try. Richard Lowe, the prop, getting the honour of the first try on tour. And New Zealand in the lead for the first time, 10-9. And that's a bit more like the play that we've come to expect. Tremendous setup from Pearce and Whetton, and then just letting the ball go off. Fitzpatrick carries it on. Shelford into it. He drives on, and this is where it's smuggled. And round they go. A peel off. Richard Lowe's got it. Mike Brewer helping him over the line. Closing the gap, indirect free kick. Compressing the line out. Puts up the up and under. Kerwin's underneath it, knocks it back. Ron Williams trying to control it on the floor, but there was a nudge forward. The original one from Cardiff. And still problems with those scrums. Jeff Whitefoot on his last cap for Wales, 1987. Kerwin coming in on the short side. Holds it up. And away goes Alan Whetton. He's there. A second try for the New Zealanders. Alan Whetton, the big flank forward, finishing off the drive. And suddenly it's a different game. The New Zealanders have found their rhythm, started to use their power. Alan Whetton. (16-9) the All Blacks lead, and Grant Fox now with the chance to make it 18-9, and he's done it. So in the space of 3 minutes, the game suddenly turned right around. John Kirwan there. See how well he did to hold on to the ball, waiting for the support. He knew it would come. And Alan Whetton really pumping those legs. Schuster out to Kirwan. Kirwan fighting them off. And away goes Schuster again. This is more like it. Suddenly it's beginning to flow. The All Blacks playing with a lot more confidence. John Schuster must feel the odd man out in the New Zealand back line. Just out of the reach of Terry Wright, and Mike Brewer taking a totally unnecessary late tackle there. That was really unnecessary. He'd put his kick away, he was in touch. Going through, Raya nips in there just in time. And it was Matthew Ridge, the fullback, who went cannoning in on him. Well, it's over. It wasn't struck very sweetly. The ball weaving around a little bit in the air, but it was right through the middle when it went over the bar. So Cardiff fighting back, 25 minutes gone, and the score 18-12. And John Schuster must feel the odd man out in that New Zealand back line. He's from Wellington. All the other back, Matthew Ridge, John Kirwan, Craig Innes and Terry Wright from Auckland. Grant Fox, also an Auckland player. Oh, and the New Zealanders piling in there, winning the scrum, going forwards, but they couldn't get the clean ball they wanted. Richard Lowe, the ball carrier. Bishop, Fox, Innes, out to Kirwan. Well picked up by Matthew Ridge. And Bishop just a little bit indecisive when it counted. And Cardiff able to hack the ball clear. Innes back with it. Brothers. And New Zealand this time killing the ball. Fitzpatrick, quick kick, the kick quickly taken. Markering, hits it forward. It wasn't a late tackle, says the referee. Now Cardiff can win this one, but they can't. Nevertheless, a tremendous reply by the Cardiff side. They could have been forgiven for going to pieces, having lost their lead and suddenly going 18-9 down. But they've come back well. Shelford standing off, not even Dummers for the drop kick and then goes. And Rugby, a little chip through for the corner. And Terry Wright, very cool under pressure there. Just held off until the ball crossed the line. If he'd picked it up any earlier, it would have been a 5-metre scrum and Cardiff's put in. But he kept a cool head. Mark Ring goes for the grubber. Watkins, Crothers, lays it back. There's no way through. Booth in there again. And the All Blacks offside. Kicker, he tends to swing it across, but he's got it again. That's a better one. Cardiff back to within 3 points. They're not finished yet. Come on, says Evans. We can still win this one. There you can see a massive All Black defenders, and the reason there was no way through was because they were offside. Fox restarts. There's the captain, Shelford. Brewer. Oh, beautiful feed from Brewer to Innes. And there's the support again. Lowe gets it. Brewer again. Bishop. The rolling maul, smuggling it around. Shelford in control. They've still got it just. When he's in trouble, they go back and Fitzpatrick there makes it 3 penalties. Bisects the posts. 21-15. And Cardiff need a converted try to draw level. Yes, Ray Megson always had noted that the Cardiff forwards were offside. Once again, packing in there and then rolling off when they're ready. The ball carrier surrounded by support. Well taken by Booth. Bishop, the little short pass to Kerwin. Whetton. Sean Fitzpatrick. But the ball just touching the line. Watkins with the throw. And a lovely entry into the line by Ridge, and that puts Brewer in. Mike Brewer, the flanker, scores the 3rd try for New Zealand. But it was made by that man, Matthew Ridge. A lovely move. Ridge tearing through, joining the line, and making the gap. The pass to Innes and then Ridge on his shoulder, and that made the hole. Look how quickly Brewer got outside in support. Very un-Fox-like. That really a very simple kick. I think that has to be the simplest kick I've ever seen Fox miss. No more than 10, 12 meters to the left of the posts. So New Zealand leading 25-15. They've come through in the second half to take control of the game. It did look dodgy for some time, but not the most convincing display I've ever seen. But very often the first match of the tour, like this, takes a touring team a little bit of time to acclimatize. That one nearly charged down. Up goes the Gary Owen. Shelford in there, doesn't take it cleanly. Evans kicks it back, that's okay, says the referee. The maul hadn't formed. You can go where you like. Shelford seemed to be engaging in a bit of stamping on that far side, and the touch judge has seen it, I think. And David Evans here now to take the kick. No, he's hooked it. It's come wide, and that's the end of the match. New Zealand the winners, 25-15. A good performance from the Cardiff side, but the New Zealanders have started their tour with a success. 25-15, not the most convincing win, but they've got the result they wanted. Eurosport's coverage of the All Blacks tour continues next weekend when they play Swansea. You can see that match at midnight, British and European time. But for the moment...